Welcome to MyLandResists. I'm on a journey building a story-driven FPS game that's probably a little different from what you're used to. My game takes inspiration from games like Just Cause 3, where you play as a freedom fighter whose objective is to liberate the homeland from the evil occupying force and a corrupt government. As you do so, the story progresses, you meet new characters, and ultimately work towards overthrowing the regime responsible for your people's suffering. My game is set in a fictional country in the Middle East. You play as a young man named Khaled who has lived his entire life under the occupation. Growing up, he witnessed countless acts of violence and oppression, and as a child, he killed his first occupying soldier. These experiences, they shaped who he is now. But now I'm using some concept images generated with ChatGPT to help visualize the characters. We are then introduced to a man only known as the Doctor. Who is he? Nobody really knows. Some say he was once a military strategist, others believe he was part of the very regime he now fights against. Whatever the truth may be, he has spent years building a resistance in the shadows, preparing for the day somebody would finally stand up and fight. That person is Khaled. The occupation is led by a man named Gideon Shalev, a powerful dictator and military leader. He rose to power by orchestrating a vast network of blackmail and corruption, manipulating powerful leaders across the world to secure his position. In his eyes, everything is under his control. Throughout the game, you will undertake a wide range of missions designed to weaken the occupation. You'll infiltrate military bases, liberate settlements, rescue prisoners, sabotage enemy operations, and gradually reclaim your homeland. Every victory strengthens the resistance. With that being said, welcome to Devlog 1. So we have now created an empty project and can fly around, but this is only the beginning. I then bought some FPS hand animations so I can now walk around. They don't look the best at the moment, but I can find better ones in the future. What's cool about these ones is that it comes with a ton of punching animations. So this is simply a quick time lapse of me making my first gun. A lot of people think it's easy to do, but in reality, there's so much code that goes into it. Any game dev knows that you need to build your shooter game to support any gun type, which takes a lot longer to do. The assets I'm using, they are very good quality. I would say they are AAA. I bought them from an FPS game project, which was quite expensive, but I mean, look at these assets. Everything is coded by me fully, but I am just simply, using the assets to save time. Now I've got a basic assault rifle mesh. I want to improve it by giving it some actual physics. Unreal Engine is super useful because you can give your mesh a physics body and it will work straight out of the box. So this is me testing what the physics look like in game, and it's so good that I didn't have to code any physics from scratch. It's all built in and it already looks really good. I now added an interaction component. How it works is I will shoot a line trace from my body. If that hits something and the hit actor implements the interaction interface, it will call the interact function upon pressing G, and doing that on my gun specifically makes it equipped to my hand. I can now also aim the gun, but as you can see, because of the animations, it does look a bit weird, but you already know I'm gonna fix that in the future. In the meantime, I quickly made it so if I pressed the aim button when unarmed, it would actually put my hands up like I'm blocking a hit. And there we go. After some more coding and changing the position of the gun, now it looks a lot better in my hand. And when I'm aim walking, that's when the weird animation thing would happen. My temporary solution was making it so it would zoom in more if I was walking to compensate for it. Now I wanted to add some temporary assets to my game. This is a quick time lapse of me making my first test map, but because I spent so much time making it so detailed, I'll just cut to the final product. As you can see, I really got to showcase my designing skills, so if anyone's hiring an environmental artist, you know where to find me. What's the point of a gun if you can't actually shoot? My goal is to now make it so I could fire, but first what I did was make some data assets. The simple way to explain it is,
instead of having all the bits of data directly inside your gun, we could put the information in a data asset and assign that data asset to that gun.
And the gun can now fire and play some actual animations which I got from the asset. Now what we want to do is have impact particles where we fire. It will spawn the impact particle there for effect. We have two things: gunshot sounds, which is good, and a reloading system. As you can see, when the fighter pulls out the magazine from the rifle, it doesn't automatically look right, and honestly I spent too many hours trying to figure out the issue. When I'm doing these voiceovers, it's funny because you think that I make progress super quick. Anyway, the gun now reloads correctly. Now you're probably thinking, how did you do it after spending all those hours figuring it out? Well, I closed closed my project, opened it the next morning, and somehow it was working fine. Yeah, don't even ask me how. This is just a quick preview of my gun so far. You can fire. If you run out of bullets, it makes the sound and you can reload like normal. Now I wanted to start designing and making my hood, so I'm using the same assets from the FPS project, which I think is fine. After some coding, I managed to get it on the screen, but right now it's not updating when I fire, as I need to set that up. And there we go, the ammo system and hood now work together. Now I added a weapons way to my gun and it looks really good. I'm not gonna lie to you, I get sick of having to learn of every little tiny detail. For this, I simply bought a paid weapons way plugin. You need to cut me a bit of slack. Now we have a dynamic crosshair, and this is one of my favorite systems. As you can see, it reacts to different factors like your speed, if you're jumping, if you're shooting. There's a lot of math behind it. We are now introducing a pistol, and it actually was not that hard to make because my game has good architecture. All the animations are set, and you probably noticed the hands are looking a bit strange. It looked fine in the FPS project with the default hands, so I'm pretty sure that the issue is with the hand models I'm using, which I can change eventually. I then introduced my third gun, which is a shotgun. This is by far my favorite gun, and I love the reloading animations. It was definitely the hardest gun to implement because shotguns work very different to normal guns. You probably noticed I added a decal system too, and it looks really good. I even added a recoil system which works really well on all of my guns. Now I have 3 working guns that look really good. I wanted to simply put it into a nice test map to see how good it can look. You can't tell me that's not AAA quality right there. I know this map is only for testing, but still, the systems I've been building are starting to really show. Now onto making my AI enemies. I started by making it simply move to me and fire for a basic prototype. It looked okay. Setting up the AI was actually one of the hardest and boring tasks. Not because of the actual AI behavior itself, but because I had to refactor my entire system. Now I gave my enemy a patrolling state. I made him a patrol path, and he's coded to move along that path, and when he does reach the end, he will simply turn around and will loop. So at this point, I started filming less videos and focused more on my coding, so I made a lot of progress in that time. My enemy now uses the environment query system to strafe around me when he's in the combat state. Combat state is the state he enters when he either sees me or I deal damage to him with my gun. The strafing behavior itself was not too complicated. Essentially, he moves to a point around me. I do wish I had more videos leading up to this, but this is when I started to really build my enemy behavior. I'll break it down for you. The enemy starts off patrolling. If he hears a shot near him, he will start investigating. If he then sees me, he will enter the combat state, chase me, and when he reaches the correct radius, he will do what he's programmed to do. There are 4 types of enemies. The first enemy will strafe, but will only shoot from a long distance. The second enemy will not strafe, but shoot from a long distance. The third enemy will strafe, but from a short distance. The fourth enemy will not strafe, but from a short distance. My enemies are slowly becoming a lot more advanced. Now for the enemy death, I went with Ragdoll because I wanted him to use physics just like the gun, and as you can see, after some time it will despawn but leave the weapon behind. I now made my own main menu, which was super easy to do as an early prototype, and I got the images from ChatGPT. I do want to add a death menu, but first this is me implementing my own player death. I'm using a third person animation as first person, so the camera follows the animation when he falls. I then made a death menu which does work just like the main menu. Pretty simple, but it does look really good and it's useful. Now it was time to start designing my first map. I was watching tutorials, learning more about building an environment, and to be honest, I think it was going quite well. I was learning so much, but even though the finished product looks really good and realistic, I then decided to just completely build my own environment from scratch. I was basically building my actual test level at this point. First, I needed to design it, of course, you know, get some textures in there, all that, get some assets in there. I kept it basic for now. I then added all the patrol points and assigned all of my unique fighters, which took a bit of time because I have 4 types. So this is my first ever map I've ever built, and to be honest, okay, to me it looks really good. I don't know about you, but for my first map, I'm happy with that. Okay, let's go into our first game. So we're gonna load in, and it might lag, you know, just for a second at the start, but the mountains look really good. I did that, you know, and this is our test level. We got the enemies, so let's shoot him. Oh, okay, now he sees me. Okay, we got him. Right, let's get this guy. Bro, this shotgun is so smooth, honestly. I mean, look at that. Okay, well, that one missed, but look at that, you know what I mean? They are teaming on me. That is not very... Never mind. Well, I am now dead, and yes, I have been martyred. So that was Devlog 1. Now, if you liked it, drop a like, a sub, and a comment about what you liked about it, or what you don't like about it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in Devlog 2.